You've seen plenty, of course, throughout your coaching career when it comes to physicality, when it comes to confrontations in the playoffs. What was your reaction when you saw that play, and did you immediately believe that would be a flagrant two?
Well, it fit the criteria. Wind up, impact, and follow through were all present, and then it becomes a nebulous nitpicking if it's just excessive or unnecessary, right? So I'm not sure how they came to that conclusion. When I watched it, I thought I would have gone with the flagrant one, but I can understand why. I mean, he put himself in a bad position. First of all, let's not confuse that with physicality. That's just a bad basketball play. That's a basketball play born out of frustration in being down in the series and being down in the game. And so I don't really feel badly for anyone, because that wasn't one of those things where a guy's trying to make a basketball play and it went wrong and then he gets ejected. This was clearly just a bad basketball play.
Coach, how surprised were you that the Suns swept and brought out the broom against the Nuggets?
I was surprised. I thought, obviously, without Jamal Murray, I thought the Suns were the prohibitive favorite. But Jokic being so good, and, Michael Porter Jr., I thought would score well in this series. So I was very surprised. But, Phoenix, that backcourt, Chris Paul, rightfully so, is getting major credit. But Booker, obviously, is a great, great talent. And what I love about how they've assembled their team is DeAndre Ayton has progressively gotten better and better. But they found a lot of guys who are tough and hard playing and physical. And they've surrounded their best players with the right kind of complementary players. They have an outstanding team, and Monty Williams has done a tremendous job in bringing out their best.
Who's the best team left in the West right now, Coach?
The most talented team is the Clippers, in my opinion. But I think I'm going to still give the nod to Utah if Mike Conley can get back. The Mike Conley injury has been, undersold because we've been talking James Harden and now we're talking Kyrie Irving. But the Mike Conley injury is having a huge impact on the rotation of Utah. They can still win that series, but as far as for championship hopes, it really, if he can't get back and be better and be who he is, it's going to have a major impact on their championship aspirations.
Back to play after my injury, I had a workout with you guys when you were at the Rockets, and I actually got destroyed in that workout, and I was having a hard time talking. You're like, look, I need you to be an extension of me on the floor. It's important you talk through these drills. As you watch CP3 be an extension of Monty Williams on the floor, how special is it what Monty has been able to do, considering losing his wife, considering all the things that went into this year and what this team has been, that he's been able to bring them together this way?
Yeah, you saw it start last year in the bubble, I think. Usually I don't believe in the carryover impact from one season to the next, but they played very well. And I think what it gave their management was hope that if we do add a impact player like Chris Paul, that we can be a playoff team. I don't think anyone saw it playing out, even the Phoenix team. I don't think they saw themselves being the second seed in the West and competing for the top seed. But Chris Paul, I think a lot of times the playoff losses and sometimes the harshness of those playoff losses overshadowed some people's opinions that he didn't come through in the biggest moments. And this guy, as we all know, is such a great, great player who, with his physicality, his skill, and his mental acuity, he makes a major impact on teams. And I think it really helped that Monty Williams and him had prior history together. I think that gave them each an understanding of what the other one was going to be like. so they didn't have to try to work through that and form a bond in this COVID-related year. So Chris Paul, like, he should have gotten like that, the MVP consideration that he did get, because he earned it. He earned it with his play. He earned it with his leadership. He earned it with his toughness. And he brought great success to what previously, before the bubble, was an absolutely floundering franchise.
No doubt about that. Everywhere he goes, he seems to impact the franchise. Jeff, thanks so much for the time this morning. Great stuff as always.